Hey everyone.
Action.
No. Hey everyone. Welcome back to my apartment kitchen. This week's genius recipe is for a 2-ingredient, very quick, very delicious side dish that does not even require salt or pepper.
Cut.
Those 2 ingredients are sitting right here. But before we dive into talking about them, I want to tell you where this recipe came from, which is Edna Lewis's Taste of Country Cooking, which I was spending a lot of time reading, especially toward the beginning of quarantine, because Edna Lewis's voice is so soothing in describing the foods that her family cooked in this farming community that she grew up in Freetown, Virginia. And every recipe is very tied to the season and when and why each ingredient was coming out of the ground. And so I stumbled across this recipe for skillet scallions, and in it she says no salt or pepper will be needed. And I really recommend that you don't just instinctively grab the salt container like you always do. Try it this way. Scallions have so much flavor all on their own. So the first thing you gotta do is clean your scallions. I have not pre-cleaned them because there's really not very much to show you in this video. It's so simple. So I'm gonna show you, scallions often come with these little dirty, scraggly bits, and I like to just pull them off like that. Sometimes they don't and you're good. Do you do the same thing? I'm actually very curious. It's just something that I started doing intuitively because I thought, there's a lot of dirt trapped under there. And I would rather it not be there. And then it's much easier to just rinse them. And in this recipe, the rinsing part is actually part of the recipe because you leave the water that's clinging to the scallions, and that is what helps them steam. Edna Lewis calls for 4 bunches of scallions here, but she also says that the scallions that she buys are about the size of a pencil. And so obviously the scallions that are available at grocery stores are usually a lot bigger. So just use however many scallions you want to eat and however many fit in your skillet, more importantly. I'm done stripping off all my dirty bits. And now they just need to be trimmed, tops and bottoms, a little bit. But what I'm gonna do is regrow my scallions, as maybe you've tried doing in quarantine as well. If you leave about 1 inch of the bottom of the scallion attached to the root and stick it in a glass with a little bit of water in the bottom, they will regrow themselves in roughly a week. So I'm probably gonna cut off a little bit more of the scallion than I otherwise would have so that I can get twice as many scallions. Or more if I maintain them well. Because basically, you stick these root ends in a glass, standing up, and then they will fully regrow the bunch of scallions, as long as they're standing up. And then you can just trim it off and use that, and then they will keep growing as long as you keep replacing the water. Just like that. So if you tune in next week, I'll show you how much they've grown. Putting them in some sunlight. And now I just need to trim just the dry bits off the top. Edna Lewis says to cut them so that they fit your skillet. My skillet's pretty big, so I think just trimming off all the dry bits is gonna be perfect. See? That'll work. Okay, that was all my prep. I just need to rinse them. Uh-oh. There's one I forgot. I just need to rinse them and get my skillet heating. Don't look at all the dirty dishes in the sink. Great. And she says to cook it over moderate heat. So I'm gonna turn my stove to medium. Oh, and you should make sure to pick a skillet that has a lid, because you're gonna use that to steam the scallions for part of the time. My cast iron skillet didn't come with a lid, but I have this thing. So I'm all set. My pan's pretty hot. Melting my butter. When it gets to the foaming stage is when I add my scallions. Okay, looking foamy. These are going in roughly a single layer. And they get covered to steam. They're gonna cook for about 3 minutes on the first side, turn over and cook for another minute or 2. And that's it. It's a very fast side and very, very, very delicious. Yeah, we'll go look for birds soon. Okay, let's take a peek. It's been 3 minutes. Ooh, feel that steam on them? I'm gonna try and turn them over. All right. So that little one that was poking out shrunk down enough, so now they all fit nicely. There we go. Carefully check these out again. Ooh, whoa. There we go. Okay, so these are probably good. I'm gonna check. Oh yeah, they are tender. They're done. You're looking for them to just be fork tender. You can stick a fork through them and the top should be shiny. The blueberries are only a third ingredient if you're in a similar situation. Okay, I'm gonna sneak a bite. You want some? Oh, you want blueberries? Okay. So, I mean, you can see why I've been making these scallions all through quarantine. They are one of the fastest sides I know, and they make anything that I'm eating a lot more exciting because I have like a sudden, very flavorful green vegetable that I can plunk on the side that cooked in 5 minutes. Do you want to try some? If you thought that scallions were something that was kind of just there to be a garnish on things or, oh, I'm sorry, here. All right, great. It's another vegetable I can feed her too. That is amazing. These would be great on the side of so many things. Steak, chicken, fish. We're gonna have them with scrambled eggs for lunch because it's really fast. Okay, you can have more. She doesn't miss the salt either. Right? For more genius recipes like this every single week, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, check out Edna Lewis's book, The Taste of Country Cooking, as well as her other books. And tune in next week for another recipe and to see how much my scallions have grown. We'll see you then.